Hey YouTube family, how are you guys doing? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to part 2 of the WestCreek Helyx Reconfiguration. Let me show you what I got in mind. For those of you seeing this video first, part 1 is in the description below. This is the newly released, here in Canada anyway, WestCreek Helyx guitar. Dual humbuckers, push-pulls, 3-way toggle, and a kill switch. Reverse headstock, roasted maple neck, mahogany body, rosewood fretboard. Just fantastically spec guitar for the price. These sell here for, I believe, 340 bucks Canadian. So a great deal. Other than just the basic stuff, this guitar is fantastic. But there are a few things ergonomically that I don't like. The kill switch is cool. Personally, you guys know my style. It's kind of... I don't know what it is. I would not use a kill switch. I'm not good enough to like keep rhythm and play and like move up here and use a kill switch, flip everybody the bird, you know, while I'm doing it. I reckon I'm holding my pick. So it's just not something I would use, especially not with it up here. Because I play this way, it's not conducive to my technique to go up here to use a kill switch and then come back down here and go up here. It's awkward for me. Maybe for some of you, who play up here, it might be like, you can get it with your palm maybe. But I'm more of a chicken picker style, and I have my hand on the bridge a lot, and I'm right between the two pickups, and it's like, there's quite a distance to reach. So here's what I want to do. I have a couple of guitars where this switch, the selector switch, is up here in the horn. So I want to move this selector switch up here in the horn, and I want to move this kill switch down here. But even if I move the kill switch down here, then it's kind of in the way of the volume knob, and I don't play with my volume knob. Like if I need to mute the guitar, I just step on my tuner pedal. And I'm not one to play with feel, and I'm not good enough. I'm just not. I know a lot of you guys, and thank you very much, you say that, oh, you're a great player and stop putting yourself down. I'm not putting myself down. I'm just being real. I am not a well-versed guitar player. I struggle on good days. It is what it is. So I don't really play with my volume so for me, it's just a knob and a guitar. And I definitely never play with my tone control, ever. So I want to move my volume knob down here. I want to move my kill switch over here. And I want to move this 3-way toggle up here. Got the strings off, in case you're wondering. They are colored ball end strings, so I don't know if they're D'Addario or just maybe overseas version of the D'Addario strings. All right, got the neck screws out. All the screws are the same length, so you don't have to worry about where they go. You're all good. We have ferrules. Oh, ferrules and a small washer. There's a washer in this one too. Yep. Washer in that one too. Yeah, we have a washer in that one too. When WestCreek sets their CNC machine up, or their drill press or whatever, they're going a little bit too deep. So WestCreek, if you're watching, you can take 1/16 of an inch off the depth of your ferrule holes, and then you won't need to put washers in there. That's not going to affect playability. Totally fine. We'll check the tightness of this neck pocket. Not very tight. But it's clean under there, for sure. Look at that. And wow, this is courtesan. Look at that. Look at all the checkerboard pattern here on the side. And see how the grain is linear all the way up the neck? It's not like swirly this way. That's courtesan. Courtesan maple neck. Wow. Nice. They got a small shim in here. I don't even know if it's necessary. It just looks like a little piece of sandpaper is all that is. Super nice, clean neck pocket. Very nice. No issues there. Now to take this bridge out, obviously you guys know, and if you're new and you don't know, well, it's just an Allen wrench. WestCreek will supply the one that you need. And we're just going to back these off until you can grab them with your fingers and just back them off. There we go. Now I can pull this out. Nice big thick block. Look at that, right? Then it's tapered at the back where the strings go through. So with these types of bridges, the only thing you have to pay attention to is when you put your strings in, you have to make sure that the ball end of the string slides in all the way inside. Because if it gets caught on the edge here or the edge here, you'll be playing at some point and then that will give way and the string will eventually seat inside and then you'll have a bunch of play. But then you have a big kink where the string was originally breaking the angle over your saddle. So you just got to be aware of these types of bridges. They're a nice design, but they are a little bit finicky. Just got to take the knobs out and everything. And these are the screw-on type knobs. One thing I like to do is to reinstall the nuts and washers so that you do not lose them. So on these, the nut is on the inside. Alright, got that switch out, but the wires for it are back here. So that's how they kill the signal, is they have the kill switch wires going to the output jack, which is fine, but I would rather have it going to the volume pot. Just going to take these pickups in when we flip the guitar over. Okay. Alright, when dealing with 4-wire pickups, that's the pen you need right there. Red, green, blue, black. Okay. Now I got my diagram all made. I'm not going to bother showing that all to you, but you guys could just pause it and have a look. So now I just got to take all this apart and get it out of here. This switch fit perfectly up here, but this toggle diameter is much bigger than even the switch. But once it's tightened down, it's not going to move. However, to move this small shaft volume pot over here, like, it's going to move around a lot. There's an expression that says mod big or go home. Or maybe that's go big or go home, but I say mod big or go home. So I am going to drill out this volume pot for my kill switch. And here's what I did. I just installed a washer on the back side right there. So my volume pot will fit right in there like this. Once I push that through, you're going to have lots of thread there. So now I'm just going to take a sheet of paper. I'm going to lightly trace where those holes are. Why do I do that, you may ask? Well, let me show you. So I do that, so now I can take this block of foam here. This kill switch is going to be right here. My volume pot is going to be right here. My tone pot is going to be right here, like so. This will just pinhole to an idea where they're at. Right here. So inside the cavity, that's how close they're going to be apart. So I don't need all this wire, see? So I'm just going to make some short little jumpers. Alright, so I've done pretty much everything I can do right here. Now I just need the pickup wires and the switch wires, the bridge ground, and the switch ground. But we have to mod the body first. Alright, so just laying some tape there just to protect the paint. Because I want to remove this whole chipped out area right here. Right? And if I take out just this, well then I'll have a lump here. So I'm just going to take this whole side right out. But I don't want to remove any of the top or the bottom. So I'm going to do this. Some 2-way tape. There we go. So now I'm going to take this stick, line it up perfectly. For those of you who have used routers before, you know exactly what I'm doing. And for those of you who haven't, so I have this router blade and it has a bearing on it, right? So the bearing will ride on the edge of this stick and won't allow the router bit to go any further than what the bearing rides on. That router blade is going to cut all that excess wood and get rid of all that mess in there. And then here and here, nothing's going to change. Well, welcome to the shed. First time using this router. So, you know, what's the worst that could happen? Put the safeties on. Rock and roll. Look at that. Right? Nothing wrong with that. I have a stepper bit. And we're going to see how big that kill switch hole actually is. That's the top edge of the bit. That's the first step. And that second last step is the one I need. Okay, moment of truth. That's snug. Oh, wow. Look at that. All right. Well, that works well. Save the paint sticks. And just a closer look. Check out that cut. Wow, eh? Great work. You'd think I'd done this before. It's really not complicated, guys and girls. I highly recommend this router, man. This is awesome. I've never used one before, and this thing is super easy. This bit and a bunch of other ones came with it. I don't know what most of those bits do. Yeah, I've never had an actual router, but I have a DeWalt power drill and a DeWalt driver. You can just interchange the battery. So this thing was great. There's a link for it in the description if you guys are interested. I don't get any benefits if you buy one of these, but you know what? I like it. So if you don't have a router and you don't want to pay the big bucks for the brand name stuff, this thing is slick. I taped all the edges off of the cavity. And I just took a big piece of plastic, covered the cavity, and the whole guitar. And now I'm just going to cut out the center here that I just drew. There we go. And there you go. You can't even tell. So you see, Ted, it's not that I can't refinish guitars. It's that I hate it. I'll leave the refinishing guitars to you, my friend. Rock on. So we're back inside. And I just ran a few wires here. Reinstalled the claw loosely. Connected the ground wire at the proper spot. I had to glue in these trem posts because they had actually moved. With the vibration of the router on the back side, they popped out, and I realized they weren't really stable in there. I put some wood glue around the spleens of these inserts and just tapped them in there. So the bridge pickup is going to need to be wired to the switch from this control cavity. So, hence the reason why there is a green and red wire here, and also a white and black one. The white and black one were the wires from the original kill switch that went all the way from the kill switch to the output jack down here. So I left that wire there because I'll be using it for either a ground or a pickup connection or whatever. And then I added these two as well, and I was able to get them nice and flat in behind these sponges against the back wall of the cavity. They won't interfere with the pickup. Now I need to take this neck pickup. Now I need to get this wire up to the switch cavity. Come across the front, in front of those foam pads, and drop my pickup in like this. I think that'll be the best way. So this white and black wire I can use for whatever. This red and green wire I can use for whatever. And on the pickup, we have 5 wires here. The green is my hot. The red and white are my split. And the black and silver is my ground. What I'm thinking is I'll use the black wire here as the ground on the switch. So this will go all the way through to here. And this black wire, which is the other end of it, will be grounded on the volume pot. This black and silver wire can be grounded there as well. That can all be tied together. The white wire will connect the 2 posts of the switch, in the center, and that will go to my volume pot. And the green wire will be here. And then I'll use the red wire, and that will go down here to my volume pot to split the neck pickup. All right, switch is in. I think the orientation is correct. Clean in there. Here's the ground from the toggle switch. Here is the live from the toggle switch. The red is my split for the neck pickup. And the green is my live for my bridge pickup that goes to the switch. And then this is just the ground from my bridge. So I got all these ends connected. So now I just got to get my bridge pickup, put it in there, and wire those wires in place, and we are done. Okay, just soldered my hot wire to the lead from the toggle switch. Now I'm just going to put a little piece of shrink wrap over that. I'm going to go ahead and install these pots in their proper position. All I have left to solder are the 2 wires to the kill switch and the jack wires. Alright, jack is wired. So, start reassembling. We'll check the electronics, make sure everything works. Alright, let's check this thing. So, bridge pickup. Yep. Volume. Yep, tone. Yep, it's getting darker. And kill switch. Yep. And now we'll go middle. That works. Neck. It's all good. Everything works. So now we just have to adjust the neck, put this back together, pop the bridge back in. We're good to go. So I just straightened the neck. It's a 25.5-inch scale, in case some of you are wondering. And check the frets. Yeah, there was a bunch of unlevel ones here. So the second one was high right across. The third one was high kind of just on the end. And you'll notice they're marked. Like I already leveled them. And I marked them again so I remember which one's the crown. And then this one here was high just on the end. And the one right next to it was high right across for some weird reason. And then down here at the 12th fret, we had a high end. And over here at the 17th fret was high right across. And then that was it, but I filed down the last 3 just to get kind of a drop off. I have the Fret Kisser and I have the Music Nomad U files like for under the strings and stuff. And you know what? But this works the best. Just a sanding block, a short sanding block. Small little piece of sandpaper for the fret you want to tack, and then I put some masking tape on, right, so that it brings the surface of this level with the sandpaper. You don't want your sandpaper sticking up too much, right? And then this also gives a nice sliding surface on the adjacent frets so that you're not scratching them like metal on metal. And I just do that. I just go back and forth. And with the weight of this, it takes them down in like seconds, like a couple passes and they're level. And these were minor inconsistencies. Like I did tap them in first and it didn't change anything. So we're all good. And I got this new little kit I ordered on Amazon. It comes with different grades, like 1500 all the way to 12,000 grit. But different papers have different grit. So this 1500 is similar to like a 600 grit, just for reference. Should be pretty good. I'm going to see how well these polish. And they say you can reuse them and wash them. And it's a nice little kit. And it just kind of sits on your desk there. You can screw it to your table. Anyway, I thought I'd give that a try. Those sanding pads are great. They polished up my Music Nomad fretboard protector. Wow, man. Look at these things. And no steel wool. Let's go put this neck on. The Helyx is assembled. Just put strings on it. Not set up. Not dialed in by any means. But the relocation of all the components just feels ergonomically correct now. And in video number 1, how I didn't like the break angle of the EA, D, and G string, I ended up putting a string bar on and getting rid of those string trees altogether. But I used the original holes. So look at that. Doesn't look fantastic, but no additional holes drilled, and it does the job. And look at the string height. They're all equal across the nut. See that? So works great. Just worked out that the spacing of the holes on the string bar lined up with where these string trees were. So I'll be back with some sound clips as soon as I'm done the setup on this. All right, the WestCreek Helyx is ready. So there you go. Tone, volume, kill switch, toggle up here. Same pickups, same bridge, just had to intonate. Everything had to move back a little bit. Neck is still perfectly lined up. I did drill through the neck through body holes. So I added a spring. I didn't have to put heavy duty ones. I just had to add one spring to make the trem a little more stable. I have it set so that the trem is flat to the body, just like I like my tellies. And I'm not really a trem guy. And just conditioned the neck and the fretboard. And those frets polished up really nice. And the string bar kind of looks like that. But again, now if you look at the string heights, they're all pretty much at the same break angle over the nut, which is minimal. And that's all you need, really. Tuners are good. If you want to upgrade this big time, a nice set of staggered locking tuners would be awesome on this. But other than that, the rewiring worked well. I had to do a little bit of sanding to this cavity on this side, as where the pickup connections go, was making contact with the side of the cavity, which I thought was no big deal, but then I wasn't getting any signal. I tested it and realized it's shielding paint. So there's shielding paint in here, so it was shorting out my connections. So I sanded a little bit inside here to give me a little more room, and I put tape around my connections just in case, and no issues anymore. So for me, this configuration makes more ergonomic sense for my playing style anyway. So clean, we have this. It's right there. It's right there. makes sense to me to have it that way. Some heavy gain, obviously what this is used for. Guys, there's the WestCreek Helyx. Great guitar out of the box, but you know what? For me, this is way more functional, and it was fun to do, man. The only thing you're going to need is you're going to need a bigger washer here, and you're going to need definitely a bigger washer here, because when you move the volume pot from here to here, this hole is huge, because it used to house this, right? So you're going to need a bigger washer. Sometimes the problem is to find a big washer that's really thin. If you have any of these electrical boxes lying around, pop out one of these cable hole covers, right? And get a stepper bit and start drilling a hole in the center. I put this in my vise and I drilled a hole, and I made myself a big washer. See, that's the material that it was, right? Same material as this. But then I just spray painted it. It works great. You can't even tell that it's there. So, anyway, great guitar. Stays in tune, right? The springs work all right. Everything works. I'm not a trem guy. And this bar, I know it kind of looks crappy, but I used the same holes that were there for the string trees, and worked out great. Ideally, though, moving forward, WestCreek, if you're watching this, get rid of those string trees, install a string bar down here across all 6 strings, and I would offer this guitar with 2 neck styles. One regular neck with the tuners on the top side, and have one with a reverse headstock. Not everybody likes a reverse headstock. I personally just like a regular headstock. But the thing stays in tune. String alignment's great, as you can tell, and there are really no issues with this whatsoever. So, thanks a lot, WestCreek, for sending me one of these. I appreciate it, and I'm sure my viewers who are thinking about getting one of these appreciate it. Now they can see the ins and out of it, and they can also see how easy it is to mod. But yeah, and everything else is stellar. This neck is fantastic, feels great. So, if you have any questions, post in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You guys take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.